Welcome to the Pal Bros Movie Reviews, brought to you by our supporters at Patreon. Our reviews are more than just reviews. We are here to build the new Christendom by exposing the bad writers, money lovers, and sexual perverts found in Hollywood. Continue listening to know what type of content we as Christians should be consuming and what we should stray away from. This is the Pal Bros Movie Reviews. If you wish to support us in our mission, head over to patreon.com/thepalbros or follow the link in the show notes. There you'll gain access to our exclusive show, the Pal Bros Mini Reviews, as well as early access to both movie chronicles and movie reviews by the Pal Bros. And now, on with the show.
We all know the story. A being from another galaxy arrives on Earth. He has immense power and strength. He's an alien, yes, but people are compelled to look to him to be some sort of savior. But what if that being is evil? 2007's Rise of the Silver Surfer, the sequel to the Fantastic Four, presents that very premise. So how does it go? Do they succeed in telling a compelling story? Well, stay tuned to find out in this episode's review of the Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer.
All right, everybody, let's all go for a spin. The best line in this review, for sure. Welcome back to the Pal Bros Movie Reviews. I am one of your hosts, Tobiah, joined with Trenton, your other host. How you doing today, Trent?
Doing well. Here we are. This is our final movie that we're reviewing in Season 1. Season 1 is coming to an end.
Yeah, it's bittersweet. We have gone through quite a bit. We have done every Marvel movie in chronological order up until Iron Man in 2008, so everything up to 2007, so all the early 2000 stuff, and a lot of X-Men and stuff, and yeah, it's been crazy.
It has.
We've reviewed, 26, or this is our 26th episode,
26.
which has been quite
wild.
the ride.
We've been doing
But we are very,
about
very
half a
excited
year
for
almost.
Season 2. Yeah, it's been over half a year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
With our breaks and stuff. Yeah, crazy. Well, glad to finish the season off somewhat strong. I mean, maybe, sort of.
Yeah, you and I were talking and thinking we should just make every one of these reviews 1 point lower.
Yeah, with our score.
It's not a bad idea. Like,
we're looking at some. We're changing our genre, or I don't know. We're stepping out of the superhero genre next season and reviewing movies that are actually good. I think we've learned so much during this season, and the primary thing that we've learned is that a lot of superhero movies aren't that great as far as movies go, and as far as stories go, and superhero movies can make good popcorn films, and you can make a pretty decent superhero film. Like I'd say the Spider-Man movies, the first two. Like, we gave them high scores because I think they were really well done. But they have problems, and we recognize
and then
that.
Once we compare, like, these ratings to, like, the movies that we're going to do next season, like, I mean, we're looking at our favorite movies, like, some of the best movies probably ever made. And,
by our
I mean, that's the whole point. In our opinions, which are right.
Yes.
That we are looking at the best movies ever made. Yeah, we're going to, say, 8.4 for Spider-Man. That is way too high.
It is pretty high. So, but as far as, where it stands in relation to all our other films, it is the best movie we've seen.
Yeah,
it's the best,
for sure. That's why
well told story, best put together film, and best character development, best message, the best food for your soul as you're consuming stories and as we've consumed a lot of stories in this whole length of time that we've been doing this.
For sure. Yeah, and if you look at every single one of these, if you lower them all by one, I think it's pretty fair. And we may or may not officially do that. We will see.
We'll let you know.
So yes, but stick around. Stick around at our Patreon. We're going to be doing our draft for next season.
Yeah.
I have brought my top 10 plus a few more for alternates, and so is Trenton, and we're going to be drafting our top. We're going to have 20 at the end, 10 and 10, and we're going to review all those next season, but we're going to have a fun time going through our draft and yeah, kind of talking over what everybody can expect for season 2. So head over there and listen to that. And yeah, I think that's enough housekeeping. Let's jump into this. Trent,
Yeah.
what are we reviewing, and what were your thoughts?
Yes, we are tackling our next sequel. We are looking at Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, Mr. Norrin Rad. For those who don't know much about Silver Surfer, he is a male, but the MCU is going to be doing their take on the Silver Surfer, and it'll be a female. We'll see how that goes, because there has to be a female counterpart or a female-like character to every other character, every male character. So, anyways, Norrin Rad, he's kind of like a alien come to Earth with superpowers. He's kind of like a Superman character, but it's if Superman was working for a very evil, dark overlord, planet-killing machine. But then he learns love and learns to do the right thing and save the day. So, it's interesting character study, interesting take. I don't know. I mean, I was kind of here for it. I think this one was better than the first movie. The character development was way better. We actually got some character development. The movie was really short though, and it was really quick. Like from jump, the story was going, and it was like a roller coaster at some points. And it was okay. There was just a lot of plot elements that were confusing and frustrating. A lot of character choices, especially on Silver Surfer's side. I think his development was okay. It was decent, I guess, but it wasn't well earned, and the choice he made didn't make any sense in the end, which we'll get into. And it was okay. It wasn't terrible, but it was not great either. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Tobias?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Yeah, there's a lot with the story that just didn't make much sense, because most of the beginning of the movie was really heavily focused on like character development and stuff, and not really like they didn't really have like a mission until way later. So there's just a lot of things that just didn't make sense with the story, because it really was just character development. And I think it was like a 55 minutes into the movie that they actually had a mission and something to do. All the rest was just like, I mean, compared to the first movie, they were, in their superhero suits the whole time. Like, I mean, there are very few scenes where they weren't in their superhero suits compared to the last movie where they were only in them for 2 times. So a pretty big contrast between that one and this one. And yeah, there's a lot to work through here. But yeah, let's just dive into the story here.
Let's do it. So we meet our characters, and we are learning that despite the fact that all they did in the last movie was save themselves from a catastrophe they caused, but remember, they threw a party for everyone. The city threw a party for them on a boat because they're heroes. Now apparently they're international heroes, world famous. Everyone knows about them. There's action figures, I'm sure. I don't know if I saw any, but I'm sure there are, and T-shirts and all kinds of things. And everyone is talking about the wedding of the century, Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Girl. They're getting hitched. Their relationship was rocky in the first one, but they tried to work it out, and now they're going to try to work it out again, and we find out that it doesn't work out super well, and then there's roadblock after roadblock, and she throws her hissy fits, and they are going to get married, and they don't get married, and then the world's about to end, and they decide to not solve the problem, but go and get married. But then that gets stopped again, and they to go save the day, and then at the end they finally get married, and da 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 da. That's the story.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
Yeah. So the first 55 minutes of this hour-and-a-half movie was the heroes, mostly Reed and Sue, trying to figure out how to juggle the responsibilities of being heroes and also have their own personal life. And that was most of the movie, of them trying to figure that out, mixed in with, that was the first hour, mixed in with the whole switching powers thing that happened to whatever his face was. And I mean, that was the first hour. Like, they were just trying to figure out, with their wedding, and her crying about it all the time, and I mean, they weren't really solving any problems with it. They just weren't actually solving the problem of being heroes and this. It was just like mostly complaining about it, but like they need to figure it out, but they're not actually figuring it out. And then the whole thing with, what's his name? Johnny Storm with his problems just mixed in, just
Not
causing
Johnny
a bunch
Blaze.
of problems. So like, yeah. So there's just a bunch of problems that they're all trying to figure out within themselves and build their characters really. And all the superhero scenes within that are just defensive superhero things, like things that are happening, and then they go there and then they solve the problem, and or they fix, they save the people from whatever happened, and then they leave. So there's no like actual, like they weren't being offensive at all. They didn't have a mission. Their only mission was to try to figure out their lives. And
Right.
other than that, there was no mission before an hour into the movie when they, learned who the Silver Surfer was and that they have to take him out. Because they even like were like, no, Reed was like, I'm not gonna deal with any of this. Let's just have our wedding.
Yeah. Right.
So they were just very passive the whole movie until that last 30 minutes. And it was pretty frustrating. I didn't like that at all. Especially the changes that happened. They were just dumb. Like, a lot of these things didn't get solved. I don't know, you have anything to throw in there for that stuff?
I don't think so. I mean, yeah, it just had a lot of issues, and they were either just trying to get this movie over with, or it was just so fast paced that they had to miss a lot of important things. And even like the military men, the general, and his choices were really confusing. And it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna recruit you guys to go and save the day because you're superheroes, and then they make one mistake and he's like, you're out. We hired this guy over here. His name's Dr. Doom. I'm pretty sure he tried to kill you guys and probably was going to take over the world. But he knows how to beat the Silver Surfer dude, so we're gonna trust him with all this super secret information.
So
and whatnot.
This is actually interesting because this is the first time a villain has resurfaced.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I guess if you include
besides Spider-Man,
Magneto and Spider-Man.
Harry Osborn. Oh well, what do you mean resurfaced? Like,
But he wasn't a villain in the other movies. Like, they repeated a villain.
oh right,
Like, they used the same
I see
villain
what you mean.
twice.
oh yeah, because he hasn't become the Goblin.
Besides, I mean, Magneto, which I wouldn't even really.
Yeah.
I wouldn't count really that because that's
Fair. Yeah, no, you're right.
There's a lot to that and it's different.
As
But
far as like traditional villain,
Yeah. which is, it's something they just don't really do in superhero movies very often.
They didn't do it in Blade.
Spider-Man was always a different villain.
Well, I feel like they do it a lot more often now,
Yeah,
sort
for
of.
sure.
But anyways,
Anyway, but so they didn't even, like, they weren't even trying to go after Silver Surfer. They knew Silver Surfer was doing all these things, but they weren't even trying to go after him because they weren't like really worried about it. Like, they didn't.
Right.
And then they find out like almost an hour into the movie that he destroys every planet he goes to, and they're like, "Oh, I guess we better stop him now." An hour into this hour and a half movie,
Right.
So it's like, why are they just now figuring this out? They should have figured that out a long time ago, and that's what this movie should have been, was them trying to catch him and destroy him. But no, they waited very, very long to do that. And
It
so
was
I feel
so
like
weird.
the story doesn't even happen until that point.
yeah.
Like, the story isn't even going anywhere until that point. It's just like jumbled mess before that.
And there's a lot to say about Galactus, who's supposed to be a Titan giant man who goes and eats planets and takes over worlds and so forth. But this is just a cloud, a ball of fire. Not even fire. I don't know. He's just like a big cloud that eats planets for some reason. And for some reason he eats Saturn in like seconds, but then it takes him like 15 minutes or 20 minutes to almost eat Earth. For y'all astrology, or those that don't know much about astrology, Saturn is like 85 times bigger than Earth.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't understand that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was confused. Why? Like, was he trying to eat up the planet?
I don't know.
Because
I don't know what he was doing.
there's not even. It's not like there's life on that planet, so I don't know why he was trying to go for it. Anyway,
Why?
it really doesn't make.
Did they
any
explain
sense.
why Earth? But I don't know. Did he explain? Did the Silver Surfer explain?
It's just a planet. It's a planet with life. He just goes to planets with life, I think.
Right. And this Silver Surfer dude he works for Galactus because out of revenge or something, because he lost his planet.
No, to save his planet. So his planet is still alive because he works for Galactus.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So he is aided in the annihilation of a multitude of planets, but this one he has sympathy for. But we'll get into that.
Yeah, for sure. So after Reed figures out that this guy is going to eat a bunch of planets, we get Victor kind of put into the story, and he is trying to. He learns that Silver Surfer's powers come from the surfboard, and so he's like, "Oh, I want that power." That's how Victor was resurrected too, was the Silver Surfer. He like flew over him, and I guess he just got a little taste of Silver Surfer's powers or something.
Sure.
And now he wants all of it. And so he plots a plan to get the surfboard away from Silver Surfer, and he joins with the Fantastic Four and tricks them into helping him, which was pretty dumb. It's like, you guys know who this is, right? And apparently they don't. Yeah, so then he works together with them, and that lasts not too long. They do get the surfboard from Silver Surfer, and he takes the surfboard. A lot of that was kind of dumb stuff too. A lot of filler stuff, like they were in jail for a little while, and the Silver Surfer was captured as well, which was a lot of this movie. Just a lot of filler scenes, and
for the most part, yeah. But it was filler scenes, but it was so rushed. It felt like, and it was and it was short.
Yeah.
Just like. And then even the third act, like, it was just all of a sudden over. And I was like, what? That's it?
Yeah, I know.
Like, I have so many questions, but anyways.
It, like, all of a sudden started, well, not even all of a sudden, there wasn't a very good transition to the third act either.
No.
Because it was after, like, I guess we're at the third act, because it was after the jail scene that the third act started, when they get the Fantastic Four ship.
Yeah.
I'd say that was about when the third act started. And Victor got the surfboard from the military people and got all the power he wanted. And yeah, that Victor's story was so dumb in this movie.
Yeah. And he's like, I hate all of I hope you all know I hate you all, or something like that. And it's like, obviously he's still antagonistic towards them and he wants to hurt them, but his goal is to get the Surfer's board, because that's where the Silver Surfer gets all his powers. It's where he finds out, and so Reed comes up with a way to disconnect him from the board, and then they're able to do the sonic pulse thing, and he falls off the board so that he's powerless, and then they all meet in the forest, and somehow Doom gets away from everyone and is able to get there first, which I was confused by, but then he waits for everyone else to get there, and then they all look at the board, and then they take it in, and the military is keeping it under wraps and hiding it, but experimenting on it and trying to figure out its power, and they found a way to make sure it doesn't end up back with the Silver Surfer, because it's locked up, but they turned off the radio signal or whatever, the alien radio signal, and then they have Norman Rad all tied up, and they're experimenting, and this doctor's like, what did he say? What I'm doing is very inhumane, but it's a good thing that you're not human. It's a good thing
you're not human.
It's like, yeah, okay, whatever. You're a psychopath.
Yeah. So we should mention, when they were trying to separate the Silver Surfer from his board, there was a moment where, for whatever dumb reason, they were gonna try to blow him up and blow up all the Fantastic Four or whatever. It was like that's what it was. They were like, why isn't Reed separating him from his board? And he's like, let's give him a reason. And they send bombs.
Oh, yes, that was so
weird. Over there.
It's like, oh yeah, we'll just go blow them up.
Let's give them a reason. Let's blow them up. Like, what? How is that going to give him a reason to separate the guy from the board?
Was that the general that said that?
And did that? Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
That makes no sense. So the reason the writers did that is because they needed to set up something for a Silver Surfer, and the Silver Surfer protects Sue Storm because
that's
the
exactly
bombs are
what
going
I
to go
thought. It's
blow
like,
all
okay,
them up,
that's why. Right.
and that's why they did it. It was just the dumbest line in the world for a reason. He's like, let's give him a reason.
Well, yeah, like
blow him
like
up.
the first movie, they set up scenarios that don't make any sense, but they're doing it in order to make a point or to give some character development or to give the seemingly the villain a reason to save Sue, which he does.
Yeah.
And it shows that he is somewhat humane. Like maybe he's not what he seems to be. He's not here to kill everyone, but he is. But we find out, okay, he has a heart, but then we find out,
and then Sue's like,
yeah, go ahead.
Sue's like, it just doesn't make sense because he tried to save me, and
then we find out
they basically stop trying to kill him because of that, which is, I mean, it's a good reason because
maybe
Galactus is the one on top, and anyway, we'll get into that. But the reason he doesn't kill her is because she looks like his wife or girlfriend from
the woman
his
he
planet.
loves.
That's
the
woman he loves.
He's never seen a woman that looks like his wife, but he found one, and now he's not going to kill billions of people
on this random planet. Yeah.
He finally felt sympathy for once, and despite being a mass murderer,
yeah,
or aiding in the murder of billions of people.
Yes. Yeah, so that was just to kind of set that up later. So, man, I don't know. There's, like I said, there's nothing in the first two acts. There's nothing. Like,
well, and you have like, this.
That's
this
what I was saying.
B-plot.
Like the third act, I'm like, where does this third act even start? Because, like, I feel like the whole story is in the last 30 minutes. Like, there's no story in the first hour. It's all in the last 30 minutes. So I'm like, where does the third act even start? Because it's like all first, second, and third acts are in the third act. So it just, I mean, there's just nothing else.
Pretty much. But
there's
then you have
some
this whole
setups, but like
subplot, B-plot with Johnny, and where we figure out, well, there's a lot there actually. So Johnny, once the Silver Surfer shows up, he goes and chases him down because he flies and this guy flies. So he chases him down, and then he ends up catching up to him, but then Silver Surfer grabs him by the throat and then lifts him up to space, and then his fire goes out and he falls to Earth and whatnot. But because he was touched by the Silver Surfer, for some reason, whenever he touches someone else with powers, the powers switch. They didn't really explain it much more beyond that, but that's what happens now. And so there's a whole there's conflict where now Johnny, who already kind of feels like an outsider because he self-identifies as an outsider. He's like, he wants to be his own man. His character developed in the first movie, but he's still kind of that loner in some senses. Like, he doesn't like to work with a team, but he's learning to. He can't touch anyone else, but like obviously the Thing, he's like, oh, if I touch you, then I can become human again, like a normal person. And so he does that, and then they switch back, and then he's like, okay, well, you and me are gonna be hanging out a lot more, dude, or something like that. And there's that. So there's that conflict. We also find out that because the wedding didn't work out, Mr. Fantastic and Sue, they're really conflicted about the superhero life. They want to raise a family, and they don't think this is the right place to do it, being superheroes and all, which makes sense. And so they're wrestling, but while like there's like imminent danger and the world's gonna probably end, and there's this alien from outer space that's come to visit, they're thinking about running away away from the group and just start their own life together and start a family and so forth. And when they're talking about this, was it Johnny or the Thing? I can't remember. One of them, they overhear, and then they assume that, oh, well, our Fantastic Four are now going to be the Dynamic Two or something. They're gonna break up.
Dynamic duo, yeah.
Dynamic duo. That one.
Yeah.
Dynamic Two. Okay. I'm stupid. So there's that there's that character conflict throughout the film, and until we find out in the end that and then at the end, Johnny and the Thing are like, okay, guys, like I guess that was it. Like, it was great fighting with you one last time, but then we find out that Johnny, or not Johnny, what's his Mr. Fantastic's name? Reed Richards.
Reed
decides that no, I think we're gonna stick around and figure out how to raise a family as superheroes, and I'm jumping ahead, but they learn responsibility. They literally say that. Like they say, like, we understand the responsibility it takes to have superpowers, and so we're gonna, with great power comes great responsibility. They basically,
See, I didn't think the payoff for that was good at all.
it probably wasn't.
I thought it was totally not earned at all, because he literally just decides. Like, I mean, I don't remember him saying the thing about responsibility, so that makes it a little better. But I thought he was just like, no, I guess we're just gonna stay superheroes, and screw focusing on the family. Let's just be superheroes.
Well, no, he says like
that's just our lives.
Yeah, because like in the comics, they have kids, and they have superpowers and stuff. They acknowledge that they recognize the cost, but they're willing to take that risk for the sake of raising a family and taking responsibility for the powers that they have been given. So
the way I saw it was they were trying to decide, let's either live the superhero life or live the family life, and they chose let's just live the superhero life.
No, that they picked both. That was the point, and that was.
Well, I didn't think they picked both. I didn't think they picked both at all. I thought they didn't. Yeah, I thought they just chose the superhero life, and I mean, having kids within the superhero life, but not like, I didn't think they actually brought them together like they should have. I didn't think they did that. I thought they just chose the superhero life. That's how I saw it.
I mean,
I thought it was dumb.
That's fair. It's fair. You thought it was dumb, but yeah, I do think that's what they were going for. This maybe it wasn't earned as well as it could have been.
For sure. I don't. Yeah, I didn't see it that way, but so, that's what they should have done for sure.
So Johnny has this.
I want to talk about
obscure power, but
well, I want to talk about how that wraps up. That's dumb.
Go for it.
That didn't pay off either. So, I mean, the whole thing was like he has this thing where he's getting the powers that it's throughout the whole movie. They touch each other. Oh, speaking of which, there was one time where he got touched by someone and the powers didn't change, but it's kind of off camera, but you can still kind of tell that he touches him. So they made a mistake there. But anyway, the way they bring this together is he's like they're like trying to decide like how do we kill Galactus? Was it Galactus, Silver, or Doctor Doom? Doctor Doom, right?
When?
Yeah. It was Doctor Doom.
Yes, it is.
So they're like trying to decide how to kill Doctor Doom and get the surfboard because they need Silver Surfer to get the surfboard to kill Galactus because he's the only one that can kill Galactus. So he's like, they're like, we all need to be up there. Oh, and Sue's dying at this time, which
how'd she get stabbed?
We gotta talk about that.
I can't remember. Was it
Doctor Doom?
Yeah.
Because he created like a spear. He created one and threw it at her, and then it disappeared, which was weird. But Johnny was like, well, we can all go up there, but what if it's just one of us? And they all look at him like, what?
The power of one, the power of two, the power of many. I laughed so hard when I realized that we're watching this movie at like the perfect time because the Acolyte episode 3 just dropped. I know this episode's going to come out like a couple weeks after that our podcast is going to come out 2 weeks after or whatever the Acolyte, but there's that whole interpretation of the Force and that weird witch chant while they're moaning and saying the thing I just said, which makes no sense. But that's exactly what happened. Power of many. They
and
come
then he
together.
takes all the powers and flies up there and beats up Doctor Doom. But that's what they were setting up this whole movie for, that whole dumb power switching thing that had a dumb start and a dumb end.
And it lasted like 10 seconds.
Yeah, it lasted like 10 seconds. So, let's rewind a bit. So we got, what point does the Silver Surfer, so like when I think it's when he's tied up and he's talking to Sue, they kind of work things out. But was there a different point where Silver Surfer decides like, no, where he decides that he's gonna be good?
Yeah, it was after he gets the board back. He's given a choice, like he can either do his master's bidding or he could go and kill his master, I guess, but sacrifice himself in order to do so. And because he saw Sue, he's gonna go do that thing, which he does. Yeah,
because he saw a girl that reminded him of his wife. He decided to
apparently
be a hero and change and not let Galactus eat the gazillionth planet
Yep.
and kill another billions of people. He finally decided, after all the other billions of people that he's killed, that this is the time to change.
Do the right thing.
There's a girl that looks like his wife. Back
Oh yeah,
at home.
and he gives a little bit of his power before he goes to Sue because Sue's dying, and so he gives of himself in order to save Sue. Which so.
Yeah, no, it's a great
Good hero
sacrifice
moment.
ending and all that. It just wasn't set up well. I mean, they would have had to do like a whole other movie, like just on that story, or just do a different story. Like, just don't, like, they just didn't need. There's a lot of things they didn't need to do in this,
Right.
and they could have done differently. They should have, like, they shouldn't have had Galactus, and Silver Surfer should have just had his own motives for something that they could have made up, but they didn't. And yeah, so Johnny gets all the powers, goes, attacks Doom, gets the surfboard, gets it to Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer gives some of his power to Sue to save her life. Actually, not even to save her life, to literally bring her back from the dead. She died. He brought her back from the dead.
She did die.
She was dead.
What did I miss?
Boom, done, out. And yeah, brought her back from the dead. Then he went up and killed Galactus. And I mean, it was
Somehow.
quick. I mean,
They didn't show us him. He
third
just
act
went into
was-
the cloud and was able to
and
finish
went
him off.
really, really bright. Yeah.
Right? Did they show
They
him
showed,
actually like fighting? Or-
Yeah, he was like glowing, and then he like
Oh yeah. Sure.
his light power,
he can do
whatever,
that.
killed him,
Yeah.
and just imploded.
Right.
Galactus imploded and was killed. So we got the hero sacrifice from Silver Surfer.
Right.
Dark Knight of the Soul was
and
Galactus
sort of
was
Johnny
killing the planet.
Well, no, not really. I mean, he knew like he didn't know what would happen when he got the powers. Like he could have just died right then, but
yeah,
I guess like he was willing to be the hero in that moment, which was
yeah,
some development for him by the end, I guess.
yeah, for sure.
So.
Galactus was killing the planet and winning. That was like the Dark Knight of the Soul. The sacrifice was Silver Surfer,
Right.
to save the world. And what he had to change was he had to realize he has a choice. All this time he thought he didn't have a choice, and then he finally realized he did. That was set up earlier because when Sue first met him, he was saying that he had to kill the planet and that he has no choice. And then she's like, "We always have a choice."
We always do.
And because she said that and she looked like his wife, he's like, "You're right. I do have a choice." Yeah, so kind of like character development in the heroes. Like I said, they kind of figured out the power switching thing and
Right.
the whole superhero versus, just normal life. I didn't think they came together very well, and they kind of just chose one. I think it should have been a little different to show that it was like a mixture of the two.
Sure.
But yeah,
It's not. I mean, yeah, it really wasn't a whole lot more. I don't know.
I know there wasn't. I mean, this was just,
They didn't give us much in this movie.
it wasn't a very
so.
in-depth
Or at least as
movie,
far as
no.
the hero side. I mean, it was about the Silver Surfer for the most part, but even then, it wasn't super earned. And
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't even in the movie a whole ton. Like, he was actually hardly in the movie.
True.
Like, he was there present the whole time, but actual scenes with him in it,
And
there was not
I mean, he
very
was
many.
driving the plot for the most part.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah,
But yeah, technical aspects, I mean, CGI and all that looked great.
it was good. Yeah, 2007 it wasn't anything that was really
Yeah.
like iffy or nothing stood out that was bad or even that good. I mean, I kind of liked the Silver Surfer for the most part, just as like
Yeah.
as a villain. Like he looked cool and the action was
Yeah, no, it was cool.
decent. I said we got some good stuff. But like I don't know, we only got like one scene when they were actually working together as a team doing superhero stuff, and that was when the Ferris wheel was falling.
Was that the only time?
I feel like did we get another like I mean I guess when they're fighting Doom, but did they even fight Doom before Johnny took all the powers?
Kind of.
I guess
but,
I guess
don't
they
know.
were. So,
Like,
yeah.
a little bit, yeah.
So, I don't know. There's that.
Yeah. Galactus was not Galactus. He was just a cloud.
Right.
So that was not comic book accurate
Doesn't
at
make any
all.
sense.
And yeah, they kept like teasing, like I don't know if you could tell, like with the shadows, they would
Yeah,
always
exactly.
like, make it
Like,
look like
we're
his
gonna
head.
find out what he is, what he looks like. This is the Great Galactus. He's like one of the most menacing villains in all of Marvel comics.
Yeah,
and he's a
and
cloud.
nothing. He's just a cloud. Yeah,
Yeah, that eats planets. He's gonna eat Earth, but failed because
yeah,
what's his face sacrificed himself. So
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there
and
were
then,
some
yeah,
aspects of it that I
Sue
enjoyed.
Storm.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say like how Sue Storm was super sexualized in this one, more so in this one than the last one.
I'd say less so. I mean, we barely even see her in her suit. Like only, I think it's only like twice. And there's the one scene, of course, when she takes Johnny's power and turns into the flame girl, and then of course she's naked in front of everyone again.
Yeah,
But like, I don't know. Other than that,
Yeah,
like
I
I
guess
didn't think it was that bad. But
yeah,
also, a lot of this movie I wasn't super engaged or paying much attention to. So
yeah, for sure. No, yeah. I mean, yeah, it was still there for sure though, but
yeah, it was there.
it was there.
It was there. Still not good. Still disrespectful to her and to women. Yeah, just does not make for a good movie, a good story. But like you have her, I mean, to give credit to that character, like she has a desire to be a wife. She's a desire to be a mother. Like she has very domestic desires. Like she wants to run away from the superhero life so that she can be a mom, pretty much. She wants to quit her job to be a mom. Like, so there's like, and that's maybe exaggerating a little bit, but a little bit of hyperbole. But for the most part, there's that genuine desire that she has. She's not acting like a man. She doesn't want to be the boss and lead this group. Like she recognizes that Reed's the one leading, and he's being hot-headed and he's oblivious to her in a lot of ways, and he needs to learn that and recognize where her needs are and to meet those needs and to be a good leader. Which I think there was one moment that that in the movie, I can't remember what it was, but like it's when he took responsibility and it was when he was talking to the general, and the general was pretty much saying like, you guys messed up, like I don't trust you guys anymore, you guys can't be part of this. And he's like, no sir, like we know what we're doing. I'm the smartest man alive, and I'm dating the hottest girl in the world and whatever. But it was just like it showed like some growth in his character, and he's willing to stand up to this general and do the right thing and stand up for his team. So I thought that was good.
Yeah. One guy that didn't really, I mean, the Thing wasn't in it nearly as much as all the others, I'd say. He definitely didn't have much character growth, because when he was there, he was just kind of there and not like there's no story for him at all. Right. Like he was just there, and so I think that was the one that lacked the most. And then it was really big for Johnny to actually take on the powers and like you said, like essentially in a way sacrifice himself, and that was good.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. Anything else?
Honestly, well, Doctor Doom. So explain. Like, did I miss something? They just threw him in the water and that was it. They didn't show him dying.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think he's still alive.
That was a little iffy, confusing, but
yeah. All right, well, let's go ahead and rate this one.
All right, let's do it. I think this is our final episode and probably our shortest episode. Because like I said, the movie was really short, probably one of the shortest movies, and there wasn't much to it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no.
Man, like I'd say this was better than the first one. I would put. I don't want to compare this to anything else. Like, what score do I give this movie? I think it's below average. I'd say it's in the 4s. But what did we give Fantastic Four on?
4.3.
4.3, yeah. So I was thinking high 4s for this one.
Yeah.
I do think it's better.
Yeah, 4.8. Yeah.
Yeah. I think 4.8.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. That's Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Well, that completes our 26 episode.
Yeah, that's
season.
Crazy. Yeah, we are officially done with this season, and
superhero movies for a while.
Man, it's been a wild ride. Yeah,
As
We
we've seen
are
a lot of
definitely doing
movies,
superhero movies for a
a
little
lot
while.
of moving pictures,
Yeah.
a lot of stories, good and bad, a lot of really cringy dialogue,
Yeah, a lot.
and Madam Web.
Yep. And that has been that. We are very excited for season 2, though. We're
We
very
are.
excited to do our draft. It's going to be a lot of fun. So crack open a cold one and go over that with us. We're going to talk about the Stan Lee cameo in this movie and the end credit scene, and check out the IMDb ratings, see what that was. So that'll be fun. Check those out. And yeah, so go ahead and head over to Patreon for that to give us some
Please
support.
support us.
And we've got a lot of stuff there for you guys.
If you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes. Yeah. Like,
Do
comment,
things.
subscribe. And yeah, I keep saying but look, that's about it. I'm trying to think of anything else. But
Follow us on Rumble. If you don't have a Rumble, get a Rumble and follow us there. We're posting content regularly there as well, and we want to grow that channel. Rumble's awesome.
yeah.
I like it in some ways better than YouTube. And yeah, so do that.
Yep. We will see you guys next season. We will be not recording anything for a few weeks, but we will be posting stuff. So still tune in every week and continue to support this channel. We appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys getting through 26 reviews with us.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. And we're very excited for season 2.
The good, bad, and ugly of Marvel, of the decades of Marvel leading up to the MCU. That is a close.
That has been that. We
to that book.
Are out for this season. Thank you guys so much. We're out.
All right. See you all later.
Bye.
Bye.